Hey, good morning to each and every one of you, and also good evening to people on the other side of the world. Uh, yep, so let me share my screen about my slide. Okay, all right, let me just present it. All right, so um, I'll start now. The title of my talk is I Can Fuzz My Junks for less than $50. And my name is Jay Turla. You can also follow me at Twitter at shipcode. And then pretty much like I've been introduced already in the by one of the NanoSec Conference crew. So yep, this is my short bio, and just to add, I'm also one of the RootCon Goon or CFP review board, and also I contribute to Metasploit modules and auxiliary modules as well. And I'm also a member of Ad Vulcan, which is a CTF team. We were finalists during Hackasat. We were able to place finals in the aerospace village. So it was really fun, and I can't believe that we actually made it that far. But it's really good. Anyways, let's start on my talk. So just to give you a short overview on why we like car hacking village is because we get to share our knowledge about how to fuzz some of your test bench and also anomaly detection systems. This was taken last year actually, and sad to say we were supposed to bring some car in our conference, but didn't work out because of COVID. But I hope that maybe next year we could present our actual car and show show some of our hacks and also our ECU tuning hacks that we have. So this is also one of our ECU kits that we have. Uh, there's a BMW ECU kit and we have a Mazda 6 ECU kit. Uh, you may want to maybe have some doubts, or maybe you're saying that, oh my god, this guy is spending like a lot of dollars on his arsenal or hardware. No, if you actually total this two together, it didn't cost $500 just for these two ECU kits. So I actually bought this one for just like if you total them together, it's just gonna cost like $250, 250 or the $300 plus the shipment, of course. And I'll try to share my knowledge on how to acquire these parts for cheap. Okay. But this is not our main topic. I'm gonna show you how to start you know with less than $50. How are you going to start with car hacking? Okay, that's the main point. So before all else, this is the best car hacking book ever. And in fact, I've just received an email that the Car Hacker's Handbook will be, uh, Craig Smith is actually working on the second version of this book. And if you want to buy the paperback, it's going to cost $35. But if you just want the online version, it's for free. The link is provided in the slide. And Craig Smith is actually one of my idol or mentors because um, the book is really one of the reasons why I started car hacking. To tell you guys the truth, I started car hacking not through canvas hacking. I started with um, infotainment hacking, and in fact, I've actually, if you want to review my previous work on infotainment hacking, so, so you can see my there. So if you just refer to this link for DEF CON, I presented it like DEFCON 26. So yeah, just refer to that one. I've actually shown some of my methodologies on how you can hack an infotainment system. All right, let's go back to my talk. In this talk, we'll be focusing on creating your own sniffer and also creating, playing with your own cheap hardware. Okay, so is there money in car hacking? As a bug crowd employee, I've actually helped in triaging bugs for two car hacking bug batches that we have. The second one was in Detroit. It was last year, and I really had fun because I played with some of the hardware that the company of the automotive company that hosted the bug bash provided, and we actually were rewarded 224,000 US dollars uh, to hackers that have provided their proof of concepts on how to hack the cars or how to play with the hardware or how to bypass the firewall of the cars. Right now, it's not that easy to just hack cars right away. And in fact, right now, since 2018, there's a firewall called Security Gateway for cars. And from what you can see on the list, okay, the top 10 hacker is Leonard Hu, and so what you can see, he actually have 43 points, and there's actually a news today wherein he provided his proof of concept or a video on how he was able to hack a Tesla car, the key fob of the car. Okay, you might want to search Google and just Cossack B. The keywords are Cossack B, Leonard, and then uh, Tesla hacking. Okay, that it's just a new article, and there's a video that was provided on how he did that, or his proof of concept. Okay, there are these are sample attacks carried out on the attack surfaces. When you say attack surfaces, these are the entry points for car hacking or into hacking the car. Take, for example, we have CAN injection attacks on the controller area network or the CAN. We have the OBD2, which is the onboard diagnostics. We have the sensors, you have the unprotected components, and then you have the radio attacks. Right now, we have key fobs. We have immobilizers for a car. And then we have key fob replay attacks and roll gem attacks. Right now, most key fob attacks doesn't actually work because of immobilizer and rolling codes. So what you're going to do is you need to perform a roll gem attack, and Sami Kamkar, who is our hero for sure, he is also your hero. Sami Kamkar has presented a good topic on how to perform roll gem attack on key fobs. Okay, and then another thing is because your car has a lot of hardware. It composed of a lot of computer boxes or ECUs. Like there's 100 plus hardware or ECUs in your car. So for car hackers, it's actually their free real estate in a bug bash because they can do hardware attacks, they can do side channel attacks, they could connect to the debugging ports like UART, JTAG, SPI, or everything. The bootloader, hacking the bootloader. So it's actually one of the sample attacks that they carry out. And then we have IoT hacking on infotainment systems, FMS, or the fleet management system. And then we have the telematics. When you say telematics, it allows the car to be connected. It's a module that allows your car to be connected. And then we also have web and mobile attacks on certain endpoints because some infotainment or some cars have web service and web servers running. Or for example, if you want to update your radio head unit or your infotainment system, it connects to a web service for the download, right? And if you actually find an SQL injection attack, or if you could modify the firmware, that's actually an issue right now. Okay, and if in a bug bash you could actually demonstrate that, it's actually a good issue. Like you could be rewarded for for like 10,000 USD to 25,000 USD. Now, don't get me wrong. P1 issues that we have, for example, if you could actually bypass the firewall of a car, it's usually 25,000 USD. Like, take for example, sending an ECU reset message on the car, even though there's an SGW on it, and then you're actually able to do that on the dirty side, not on the clean side. That's a bypass or a security issue. So it's pretty much like 25,000 USD. Okay, that's the minimum. And then next up, we have the DOS or denial of service attacks and memory corruption on these services, which are still part of infotainment systems and radio head unit. So you have the Bluetooth, you have the Wi-Fi, you have the services, of course. Um, Keen Labs has actually a lot of good white papers. If you try to search on Keen Labs hacking on BMW, they actually have a good white paper and proof of concept as well in the net. This is a sample of an unauthorized CAN access. Reference is from the Black Hat demo of CAN tools. And as what you can see, if you're actually going to rip off some of the parts of the car, you can actually connect to the controller area network. So you don't need to be in the controller area network internally, or you don't need to be inside the car. In fact, if you're going to rip off maybe the adaptive cruise control or the chassis bus or the brake lights, and if you use a multi-tester, and if you're gonna measure the voltage of two wires, like it's usually twisted, like it's red and green, and if you're gonna measure like 1.5 volts, that's usually where CAN is actually traveling. So just so you guys know, airplanes and motorcycles have CAN too. And the reason for this is to reduce the number of interconnecting wires from control panels in the flight deck to system computers in the avionics compartment. So that's why there's an Airbus deployed CAN bus. Thus, um, CAN is also uh, present in airplanes. So most of the dilemma right now is car hacking research is expensive and costly. It actually isn't. Okay, so let's try to bust the myth. Uh, First of all, without spending dollars, if you don't have any hardware, you only have a Linux box. You don't need to have a problem with that. Okay, you can just run Instrument Cluster Simulator or IC Sim by Craig Smith, the author of the Car Hacker's Handbook, and there's a lot of tutorials in the internet about this one. Um, and for you, if you don't want to try that one, you could also set up your own virtual CAN device without an actual device. So this is a bash script that I provided, and because I'll be sending my slide, I don't want to, focus on this one, but this actually allows you to set up your virtual CAN device without a device. And when you say virtual CAN device, it's similar to this. Okay, let me just show you. Let me just share my screen, my whole screen, so that I can actually, you know, yeah, let me show my whole desktop so that I can show my virtual machine. All right, now let's go on to my virtual machine and just show you some part of this one. So, right, and then if we try to, I've already cloned the IC simulator, and there's actually a script called setup vcan. So if you try to run that one, it would enable your um, virtual CAN. So as what you can see there, we have a virtual CAN device, which is vcan 0, and we can start dumping virtual CAN network. And if we try to send a message, take for example 123, that's the arbitration ID, and then 1212. Sorry, we need to define the virtual interface. And then we'll have there, okay? We have the message that was sent. So this is the virtual device, this is the arbitration ID, and this is the length of the data, which is 2 bytes, and then we have the data. But we will not focus on this. We will go on the hardware itself, okay? I'm just giving a run through, okay? So let's go back on my presentation. And if you want to try a unified diagnostic services server or an ECU simulator that is not hardware-based or a software-based, I provided the link for the UDS server. If you're going to run it, it allows you to, emulate an ECU that wherein you can actually send UDS or Unified Diagnostic Services. And if you want to install some car hacking tools, I provided the link as well. It's by Jay Gamblin or Jerry Gamblin. And I'm sorry for the rooster that you can actually hear. I'm that Filipino wherein you can hear roosters on the background because we have roosters near my house. Anyways, they've been appearing since Bugcrowd Level Up, and yep, they're always here. Anyways, all the scripts are designed to run on Ubuntu, Kali, and Debian. So they can be installed via the repo, the link below. And then, I've already provided some links on the software side. So we want to get to know about the hardware, right? So let's go. These are my favorite tools. This is the NanoCAN from the left side. And then we have the CAN-TAC. And then we have the TechMaker made by my friends from TechMaker. We have the STM32 CAN sniffer. And then we have the Value CAN 4. Okay. Now, the devices aside from NanoCAN, these devices cost more than $50. Okay. We want to focus in creating our own sniffer for just less than $50. Okay. Now, for NanoCAN, you're just going to spend $5. And I'm going to teach you how to create your own in this topic, in this presentation, I mean. So, but before that, we want to have our own hardware, right, to test. And, for just $20 in eBay, if you're going to buy a PG207 instrument cluster speedometer, it's going to cost $20, okay? You don't need this one. But if you want to go full-blown, you could actually buy 120 pounds ECU kit if you want to build your own test bench. But for beginners, I think you're gonna have to start with a PG207 instrument cluster, which costs $20, and I actually have it here with me right now. But we're just gonna, because it's really hard to put in the camera, but I'll show a video about it. And if we have more time, I'm gonna turn it on. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, it's really a starter pack. You need to determine the pins of the cluster, and you know what? I'm gonna show the cluster right now. So, from what you can see on the video, you have the NanoCAN, and it's actually trying to fuzz the cluster. So this is my cluster. I'm not sure if it's actually clear from your screen right now because of the virtual background, but this is the cluster that I'm talking about. And then at the back, I've already Pinsonet, my mentor, actually put lines on the pins, and I soldered it with the CAN, and then with CAN high and CAN low, and then I already put OBD2 connector to it so that it's easier to plug in with some of the devices that I have. Right. And then from the right screen, you have there an ECU simulator, which I bought from Tindy, and it actually costs $100 something. I think it's $100. You don't need this one. It's just for simulating things. And actually, you can't sniff on it if you don't send UDS messages on it. So it's not real time hardware. Okay. And then because this is what we want to focus, right? We want to build our own $5 can hacking tool. So meet NanoCan PCB by Mintonet. Okay, it's a $5 car hacking tool. Okay, there's a PCB right from the screen. Okay, what you need is I've actually have this as one as well, and if I could, if you could see me in other conference, I provide some of the PCBs which I custom made. And if there's a problem with that, you could also go to mintonet/nanocan, and then you could prototype your own from here. Okay, you just maybe spend on some prototypers because you already have the uh, the sketch for this one, the PCB design file. So you can prototype your own PCB design file with this one, and if you try to open the editor, you could already edit this one. Okay, so and you could also put your own name on it. Okay, but and in fact, but you need to ask permission from Internet for you to be able to do this. Okay, and then after that, you need to just prototype it from your end. Right. Next up, we have um, you need these two components for you to solder it, for you to have your own CAN hacking tool. So you need an Arduino Nano and an MCP2515 module. So you're gonna need to solder these two together, and then you know um, in the GitHub file that I provided, it's complete already. Okay, on how you can do it. And then if you want to have the additional component, so you need to attach the CAN high to pin 6, and then the CAN low to pin 14. And then I've also provided sample code or sketch to the Arduino. And this is actually how you're going to do this. Okay. So if you have Arduino running, yeah, it's still loading. Sorry for that. Right before that. Right. So this is a sample fuzzer that I've actually made for my own. It's a PG207 cluster fuzzer, and this is a sample sketch that I have. But if you want to start first, like this is your first time running the Arduino IDE, you need to download this one first. You need to download the zip file, and then just click on download the code here. And from there, you need to go to manage libraries. No, it's not manage library. Sorry, I made a mistake. You need to, should call this. you need to include the library. Okay, uh, go to Sketch and then include library, and then add the zip file. And I've actually added mine already, which is the MCP CAN lib. And by that, after that, you can already see samples like how you can actually send uh, signals to the CAN. So take, for example, this one. This is a sample sketch on how you can send messages to the device or to the controller area network. And you just need to define the CAN bus speed. So in my case, it's 500 kbps. But because we're using the PG207, it's gonna be 125 kbps. And then the baud rate should be 115200. And then from this, you're actually sending the CAN ID 100, and then this is the data that you'll actually be sending. All right. And then you can also create your own sniffer, which allows you to actually sniff, okay, what's going on with the device. So from here, you could already try to sniff what's going on with your hardware. Okay. All right. I'll show a video on this later on. Let's try to continue on the topic. So yeah, if you could spot me or Mintonet in a conference, if you're interested, just ask me. Ask me one. I actually have the root conversion, which is a blue PCB, and also some additions to it. And Mintonet also has a different version that he has. So what? Another question is, what if you have this? Because some car owners actually have this ELM327. So can can you actually use this for car hacking? Yes, you can actually use this, but it's actually kind of slow. But if you want to try it, you could actually use Metasploit. If you go to the Metasploit tools hardware, you need to use RFCOM, and then the ELM327 relay. It's a Ruby script so that you could interface your ELM327 hardware, which costs $5 to $25, and you could actually yes, this is a sample. Basically, this is a literal car hacking on a chip, thanks to Craig Smith, because Hardware Bridge is made by Craig Smith when he used to work at Rapid 7. And actually, I've provided or contributed some modules as well from this. And this is what you can see here. Hardware Bridge is open, okay? After connecting to the ELM327 relay, I provided a script which I made. So if you have a a hardware bridge that you have, or if you are connected to the CAN already, or if you have a virtual CAN, you could use my hardware bridge connect resource script. It's I've provided some of my scripts under RootCon Labs, and I've also provided my module for basic car hacking and the Metasploit. So it's just a simple sketch. I mean script, and then my sketches are actually here. Okay, if you want to try on the sketches that I've made, it's here for Arduino. But for automating your Metasploit, it's here, the hardware bridge RC. So you just need to let me just try to give a sample on that one. Okay, let's try to open up the hardware bridge. So okay, we have the hardware bridge script right now. So what you're going to do is you just need to type in MSF console -R and then the hardware bridge script. Right. We don't need that one. Okay. So it will fire Metasploit and yep. And then we have a session. Okay. If you try to go to sessions, you are connected to your hardware. So if you try to use that session, there, you are connected to the hardware bridge session. And you could already do a lot of things with this one. Take, for example, do a bus config. You could also send CAN using just the ELM327. Okay. But anyways, that's not one of our main topics. It's just, an overview that we have. So let's continue. Yeah, this is the module that I made. It's for the Mazda 2 instrument cluster. I also own a Mazda 2 car, so that's why it became my target. So let's try to have a demo on actually the junks that I have. Right. So we have a can in the middle. So I'm actually using NanoCan to fuzz my instrument cluster. All right. So this is the PG207, and also trying to send messages via the CAN. So that's why you have. I was able to sniff the packets that was sent by my NanoCan because I have two wires connected as a splitter. And then this is my Mazda 2 instrument cluster fuzzer. Um, so with just a $5 car hacking tool, I could already play with the CAN. Okay, there you go. All right, and then I'd just like to show the if you're interested with with a good tool, really, like it's not $5. I just bought P1 Machina. It costs like I think. Let me try to search for that one. Okay, Machina P1. All right, all right. So you have a fully featured computer, which is P1, and this is actually a demo that I made from my other car, which is the Toyota Hilux. All right. So I connected it to my car and you know started sniffing the packets on the vehicle using CanDom. And there you go. So what you can see, this is the virtual the CAN device, the config, and then the arbitration ID, and then the length of the data. So it's kind of noisy because it's a pickup truck for Toyota Hilux, and I'm pretty sure that you also have this in Malaysia. So, but anyways, if you want to start small, this is the best way to start. Okay, you have this one. This is the really the best way, and I think that's actually it for this one. Because we have a short time. If this is a session, we're gonna really gonna make it in depth. But for this one, because it's a short session, just making it fast, kind of fast, and make sure that I've tackled some points. Anyways, what's next? I'm gonna give credits actually to some. Sorry. Yeah, we're done with the demo. I'm gonna give credits, of course, to the Car Hackers Handbook, to Nanacan from Internet, who is my mentor. Getting started with car hacking. The carhackingvillage.com/getting minus started gives you an overview on how to use CAN utils, and then CAN Bus Basics with Hands-on Fuzzing by Ian Tabor. This is the reason why I started with. He's the guy behind, starting with NanoCan and also with clusters, playing with clusters. And then I would like to give a shout out to the Car Hacking Village, Craig Smith, Ian Tabor, Car Fucker. He is the founder of the Car Hacking Village. His real name is Robert Deal, but I like his name, Car Fucker. And then we have Fronders. We have Techmaker UA. They were the ones who gave me the STM32 can sniffer. And then we have the ASRG, Automotive Security Research Group, and the ASRG SIN from Singapore. And then we have Spectres, Jammy, and Semprix. Jammy is my co-founder of the Car Hacking Village, and Semprix is our godfather of RootCon. So he supports us in trying to make car hacking village in the Philippines great. So yeah, and also he tries to teach us as well with some of the basics. So now I'm open to questions because I'm almost time. So we have like 2 minutes left. No, let me try to get that. Uh, I think I'm open for questions now because we only have 40-minute topics. 40 minutes for the topic.
Okay. Hi Jay. So there's two questions so far. So
Okay.
the first question is, couldn't you hack internet connected cars, as some of them do update their firmware from the internet as well, especially through the infotainment system?
Yes, you can actually do that. Um, like I said, it's one of the attack surfaces, but you know, um, it's not that easy right away. Unless you connect your infotainment to your Wi-Fi, or unless your infotainment has there's a telematics unit on it, so you can actually do that. Okay, you can update the firmware or change the firmware on the fly, but it's not just that easy to do. Okay, you need to be connected to it. You need to be on the adjacent or network for you to do that. So because telematics allows you to connect to the Wi-Fi, yes, you can do that. In fact, you could also SSH into your car. I've actually tried that in my Mazda. For Toyota Hilux, I haven't been able to SSH into my infotainment yet, but for the Mazda, I was able to do that. Um, I actually can't disclose some of the things that I've did for Mazda because maybe they will try to sue me. So yeah, I was the reason why Mazda parts patched their car, and I met them during DEF CON 25, I think, and they gave me their card and they said that I was the reason why they tried to patch some of their infotainment system. So you need to, Jay, you need to end your share screen for you. Yep, I already ended my share screen. Okay.
I
Uh,
see. Okay, so the next question is, if it's in the real world situation, how long will it actually take to gain physical access to the vehicle and like drive it away?
ah, right now that's kind of hard actually. To tell you honestly, that's kind of hard. There's a demo with Cossack B, the one that I've talk about Tesla. So it took time because you need to have a hardware. Unless he has a hardware ready, and I pretty much guess it's about 10 minutes if he already has the hardware. But if not, you're gonna start from scratch. It's gonna take time because you're gonna need to pair the key fob and keys and then you need to have an extra ECU that you're gonna plug into the car, or what? There's another thing. Um, Take for example ripping off some of the components, like for example the brake light system, which is under your car. There's a two can, there is a CAN bus wire there, but I'm not sure for other cars. But there, I can't disclose what car is this. They're gonna sue me. But in a bug bash, someone was able to do that, wherein he was able to unlock the car by ripping off. I mean, he was able to start the engine by ripping off the brake lights and send CAN bus message to the car. And then he also made an ECU reset for the car.
So basically, we can expect that in the future, as more and more cars have this system in them, we will see more and more of these attacks, and more cars will actually just be stolen from these type of attacks.
Actually, there's a lot of, not really that much, but there are more attack surfaces, but it doesn't mean that it's easier to steal cars right now. Automotive companies have started beefing up their security of the cars, so it's not just easy. I mean, you can do that with older cars, but even though it doesn't have internet connection, like you can just replay the key fob keys right away because it doesn't have a rolling code. But right now they have rolling codes, and then from time to time, if a vulnerability has been found, um, they have over-the-air updates right now for most cars. In
Mm.
fact, Tesla is actually doing an over-the-air updates right now because of what Leonard actually discovered for Tesla. So it makes hacking kind of harder right now since 2018. Remember, like I said, there's an SGW security gateway, and if you can bypass that, then that's an issue. All right. Someone was able to bypass it last year. Okay.
I see. Okay, next question. It says, question from a beginner.
Mhm.
How do you find a balance between investing in cheaper learning tools and investing in a real vehicle? Car prices are different in countries.
Yes, car prices are different, right? Uh, you don't need to buy an actual car for you to do that. I mean, in the Philippines, we can buy uh, cars cheaper actually here. We could also buy test benches. If you're not from the Philippines, you can just go to eBay and search off some of the parts. It costs like $100, $120.
Oh,
So, question: there's another, car prices are different in countries. I agree. Singapore has a very expensive car price, but
mm,
ASRGSIN were able to buy some test bench as well, and they presented them to other conferences.
I see. Okay. Another question. Uh, can the OTA updates be hijacked as well?
Uh, yes and no. So right now there's what you call firmware checking, and then some cars have patched it, but there are old cars that can be hijacked if it's very old. You know,
I see.
it's not for
Okay.
all. It's not just that easy to do that. But yes, it is plausible. I mean, if you, for example, if you are able to hack the PKI bridge, or if you are able to hack the web server where the OTA updates are coming from, then yes, you can.
Oh, I see.
SQL
Okay.
injection, and then you change the firmware.
And that's why you need to always clean up your SQL statements. So that's the last question. Jay, any closing remarks?
I would like to thank NanoSec for inviting me here. I think it was Belinda who actually told me to pass my paper, and I hope that I could go back next year and bring out some of my car hacking friends as well for your conference. And did you had any car hacking village in NanoSec yet?
No, no, not yet.
Not yet. I think I'm gonna invite some of my Singaporean friends and some of my Filipino friends who are into. If you are planning to, yeah, we could
Yeah, I
start.
mean, we of course we wish that we can start one here. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Do let me know on that, and I'm always I could always start one. Help you guys.
Okay, thank you, Jay.